Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I'm going to be doing a ton of stuff this week. If you missed out, check out our interview with Chief State. They're an awesome pop punk band from Vancouver, British Columbia. Also be doing an album review of Toluca Lake's new EP that comes out on Thursday, tomorrow, which I'm really excited about. Also going to Warped, so I'll probably get some like vlog style videos. I also posted 10 bands that I'm excited to see on Warped Tour this year, as well as my thoughts on Warped Tour ending this year as well. So definitely check those out after you finish this album review or any other future stuff that we have. It's really awesome. I really can't say enough, and I can't thank you guys enough for just supporting the channel and really believing in what I do. But tonight, we're going to be talking about Real Friends' new record, Composure. So this is one of those bands that I kind of skipped over, not because I didn't like them, not because I thought anything bad about them. It was just some band that I just kind of like glazed over and didn't really care about. However, I listened to the first single that they released, From the Outside, and I was hooked like immediately. And I know that they did a split with This Wildlife. That's how I found out about them. And then I didn't really listen to the previous record to this. I'm kind of going into this band fresh, new. I've seen them before live, but I just haven't checked out any of their music, so I felt like this was a good start to do it on a new record. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it, go through some pros and cons on the record, and then finish it out with an overall rating. So the first track is called Me First. Definitely digging this sort of more energetic vibes coming out of the gate in this track. I feel like this one is definitely one of those like crowd pumper tracks for sure, and I think it would transpose very well live. I know that they probably won't be playing it on Warped, but maybe in future tours to be coming. I definitely feel like this one would definitely be a good one to have in the set list. I like how I like how it starts this album off on the right foot for sure. Just high energy. I'm liking their vocalist's grittier tonality. I like how it kind of cleans it up, but at the same time, he has those really gritty moments that I feel like you don't hear a lot in too many pop punk bands, maybe excluding Derek Descano from State Champs, but I think that primarily a lot of bands kind of stray away from that. So I like it kind of rides the line between just those like sort of almost scream parts in like metalcore, like post-hardcore, but also has that sort of like pop punk mentality to it, which I appreciate. The chorus is definitely the centerpiece of this track. It's one of my favorite parts of the song for sure. It's super catchy. I think this is a great opener track, and it is one of my favorites as well. It just creeps a really great high energy feel to it throughout. So we're gonna move into track number 2, which is Stand Steady. This one is another favorite of mine. Loving the vocal layering done in the in the verses. I really feel like it makes this track just the way that whoever they went for in producer doing the production on this really had thought it out and really kind of showed off their skills and abilities to the best thing. And I think that if you're going into the studio and you have a producer like that, tracks like this can come out, and I definitely feel like it highlights the best of what they do. I like the more melodic approach in the verses as opposed to the more punchier, more aggressiveness in the choruses. I think that is really cool. It's a nice juxtaposition in the song. The instrumentals are really cool as well in this song, and then just another really infectious, catchy track. Just the structure and the arrangements of the track have been really good so far, and just based off of the singles that they've released, I can assure you that the rest of the album has that same sort of feel as well. So speaking about single tracks, we're going to be moving into number 3, which is From the Outside. definitely a super groovy track. I love the instrumentals in this one. It's probably one of my favorites, excluding maybe another one that I'll talk about in a minute. It has a bit of a 1975s vibe to it as well, and even a little bit of the starting line, another great pop punk band as well. The melody lines in the chorus are absolutely killer. Definitely one of the catchiest choruses on the record, without a doubt. I think that is a phenomenal single. If you haven't listened to this song, please go do so because it's absolutely great. I love it. I've been jamming this album for like the past couple days, and that one is one that I always get like massively hyped on. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Smiling. I was gonna say Smile in Your Sleep, but that's a Silverstein song. Smiling on the Surface. This is another single that they had released, and it's another favorite of mine. I love how the vocals go from smooth to gritty. I feel like it seems so seamless, and it just really feels like there's no effort that goes into it, which is always a great sign. Another really fantastic chorus as well. And then they have these cool sort of breakdown-ish parts. One is at 2 minutes and 5 seconds to around the 2 minutes and 15-second mark, and then they have one closer to the end of the track, which is really nice. I think this plays more towards their indie sort of rockier vibes, like indie rock vibes, which is really nice. Another, like I said, another catchy track, and definitely one to check out because it's out and you should check it out for sure. So we're gonna move into track number 5, which is Hear What You Want. This one has a really sick groove to it, definitely reminding me a lot of older pop punk bands, kind of in the same vein as the starting line like I mentioned, but this one also has a little bit of a yellow card flair to it as well. Really great writing and structure in this track. It will have you grooving and just move into this song in no time. It's definitely another favorite of mine as well. I feel like this album so far has been the strongest I've heard from any pop punk band in a very long time. I don't think I've ever put maybe 5 tracks in a row where I've just really enjoyed all of them. So this is really cool for me just to experience this, and I think that a lot of people might have the same sentiments about this record as well. So we're gonna move into track number 6, which is Unconditional Love. This is another single that had been released, but this one shows off more variety in what they do in terms of writing. The verses have elements of just openness, displayed more in the sort of melodicness of the track, but the choruses have more power and more like emotional attachment along to it, which is really cool, and I think it makes the track hit harder and just have more of that like personal touch to it, which I appreciate. The bridge definitely releases all that sort of energy and that sort of build in the song, and it shows off I think it shows off a lot of growth and a lot of evolution. A lot of the tracks that they have had now have been more just rock and just kind of like in your face pop punk, that sort of stuff, and this one kind of takes it a little bit of a step back, especially in the verses, maybe not so much in the choruses, but I'm just liking these sort of well-roundedness they are able to bring to this track. I think that while it might not be one of my personal favorite tracks, I appreciate the thought process that went along with it, and just the way that they were able to kind of incorporate different elements in this song that maybe might have not fit in with more of a pop punk aligned track. So we're gonna move into track number 7, which is Composure. This one has another really infectious chorus. I think whoever wrote most of the choruses off of this record really deserves a prize because they are phenomenal. A lot of the same reasons why I like a lot of these other tracks as well. It's catchy, it's infectious, there's some really great song structure as well, and it just executed very well. I think you can't argue with a well-composed track, no pun intended. I totally wrote that down and didn't realize it until afterwards, so that was totally cool. I think it's a solid track overall, and it's definitely one that I feel like a lot of people like as well. It's not one of my personal favorites, but I think it's definitely a strong track nonetheless. So We're moving into track number 8, which is Get By. This one is another favorite of mine. Loving the instrumentals of this track. I feel like they channeled a lot of state champs in this song. It has a lot of those state champs sort of vibes to it. The groove of this track is just phenomenal. It's one of my favorites as well, like I mentioned. The verses really stick out to me. They have more of that like bass and drum driven parts, and the vocal arrangement and just the layering in the track going on with it. I think they really did a phenomenal job on this track in particular, just putting the vocals in where they fit. They have some like harmonies and things of that nature, and just maybe like extra vocal lines sprinkled throughout that really kind of break up the sort of main melody that is displayed with the vocalist. The bridge is my favorite part. I think that just having the bass have more of a pronounced role in the track really shows their skills, and just showing off more of the arrangement ability that is going on in the songwriting of this track. So we're gonna move into track number 9, which is Ripcord, another favorite of mine. I know probably being like, Brandon, you have so many favorites, how can you? And I'm like, listen to this record and you'll find out, because this one is another phenomenal one. Again, much of the reason why I like Get By is much of a lot of the reasons why I like Ripcord. The drums and the bass have definitely more of a pronounced role in this track. The guitars have more of a like outside layering ability to them in this track, and I just like that the guitars kind of take a back seat. I think it really works out in the arrangements of this track, and the vocal melodies are just really thought out in this track as well. It has great moments of melody, but also has some really awesome moments of sort of more grittier or harsher vocals. There's a nice balance between both of them, so it doesn't seem like it's just majorly aggressive, but it's not like too light where it's just all kind of singing. This one has awesome sort of fun, bouncy vibe to it that, again, a lot of you will like for sure. It's one of those catchy, infectious tracks that maybe you might be taken by surprise. So we're gonna move into the last track. Track number 10, which is Take a Hint. This is another favorite if you're noticing a trend at all. But this one really takes elements of the entire record, and I'm not exaggerating that at all. I feel like it has moments from a lot of the singles that have been released, and it also has moments of some of the songs that haven't been released that I've really enjoyed as well. And just really combines them in the best way. It's one of my favorite choruses off the entire record, again excluding maybe From the Outside. I feel like those two are like kind of like on the same level in terms of just likability and just being my favorites for sure. I definitely feel like the vocals on this track are my favorite as well. I think that it just sounds phenomenal in the way that it's arranged. It's the way that it has more of aggressive bits as well. And I think there's a little bit of female vocals in the choruses, which is a nice kind of counterbalance to their vocalists. I feel like it adds a nice contrast. I don't know if maybe I'm hearing things, but I definitely could hear a little bit of female vocals going on there, which was definitely nice. The gang vocals as well were really cool. Adds a nice dimension to the track. But really groovy, really catchy, and a great way to end off a fantastic pop punk record. Definitely one that I was personally surprised about how much I liked it, and how well it was just produced and arranged. So some pros and cons. I think there was some really great arrangements done on this record. There's some really great sort of pop punk moments. There's some great alternative moments. There's some great sort of indie rock moments. I really feel like it kind of covers the gambit of that sort of genre of music. There's some really great melodies. The vocals are really solid as well. I would maybe like to hear a little bit more expansiveness in terms of range, maybe like some falsettos or some like lower parts, lower range stuff. I think that would have been really great, and maybe just put it over the top just a little bit more. The songwriting is great. I think they've really kind of nailed down really infectious choruses. I think I really had nothing bad to say about any of the choruses off this record, just because they were just so thought out and they worked well with what the songs were doing, and just overall catchiness of the entire record is just phenomenal. And if you couldn't tell by all of my favorited tracks, which is pretty much the entire record, I think that they really kind of killed it in that area. Each track feels memorable and doesn't feel like there's one that sounds, similar to the other. And I really appreciate that. As listening to a lot of pop punk bands and a lot of pop punk tracks, I think you kind of get a little bit callous to the fact that there's different pop punk bands that do different things, and this unfortunately was one of those bands, but I hope that I'll be able to get to see them some more in the future. I think this is one of the best pop punk records of this year, without a doubt. So my overall rating for Real Friends Composure, I'm going to be giving it a 9.8 out of 10. I think it's so good. If I couldn't tell you by the favorites of this record, I think a lot of people are in for a treat. If you are a Real Friends fan, I feel like you're going to like it, and I feel like they're going to get a lot of new fans off of this record just because of how catchy, how infectious it is, and just the way that they've arranged tracks. I think that they really kind of tapped into the code and really figured it out. But let me know in the comments what you think about this record. I know it doesn't come out until Friday, but if you were able to maybe get it on Warped Tour early, or your copy in the mail came a little bit early, or however other means you're able to get it, let me know what you think about it, what you think about the singles as well. Definitely would like to know in the comments. And definitely a great record to pick up. They're on Warped Tour for the rest of this summer, so definitely go check them out on the, I don't know what stage it is, I want to say it's the Journey stage, but I'm not entirely sure. But I am excited nonetheless. I will be making time to go out and see these guys on Warped Tour this Friday. So thank you guys for watching this review. If you liked it, subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share it. It goes a long way. Hit that notification bell as well, so you get notified of when we put out new stuff on the daily. So thank you. My name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com, and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.